What is going on, guys? I had to do this video. This is crazy. This is a new haul video. It's a new look at my stuff video. It's kind of completely unexpected, but I found this ridiculous pile of stuff, and I just felt like I had to show it off. I had to show this off just because this is so crazy. I can't believe it still. Okay, basically, here's the story. Christina, my wife, took me out of town for a short little trip for Father's Day. Essentially, she just took me down towards the St. Louis area so we can hit some video game stores, do some game shopping, some toy shopping. She just basically said, let's go do this because I know you'd like to do it, and that's how we're going to celebrate Father's Day. And it was really cool. It was awesome. It was a great way to spend the day. While we were out of town, we came across a store called Savers. It's a thrift store. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Savers. We don't actually have them around our area, but I've run into them in other places, and I've been to a few of them before. And we were already done, hitting up some video game stores and some toy shops and everything, and we were getting ready to head back home, but I said, let me run into this Savers real quick. Let me just see if there's anything in there, because sometimes in thrift stores you find some random things. I've never had a lot of success at thrift stores, but I always, if I'm right next to one and I'm out doing that sort of thing anyway, I figure why not? I'll run in there and check. So she's like, yeah, okay, let's go inside. So I run inside of Savers, and I'm walking around and I'm looking for some cool things, and I'm not really finding a whole lot. I do find, the first thing I find, which I grab right away, is this vintage Dino Riders puzzle, which is really cool. I actually haven't even opened it yet to see if all the pieces are inside, because I've been so distracted about everything else. But Dino Riders puzzle, that's pretty cool. I do like these retro puzzles. I like the old artwork. So I grabbed it. It was like $1 or something, $2. So I went ahead and grabbed it. Whatever, cool Dino Riders puzzle. That's awesome. That's a great find, right? So then I'm walking through, I'm literally in the last aisle of the store, which is where they happen to have their toys, and I'm kind of glancing at the toy section just to see. And if you've ever been to Savers, you know that the way they put their toys up for sale is they basically just bag up a bunch of random toys, slap a price tag on the bag, and they hang the bag on pegs. And you can't open the bags and pick things out you want. You have to buy the whole bag of toys. So I'm walking by the section with all the bags hanging on the pegs, and I'm like, well, let me just kind of browse at some of these bags to see what I can find. And I start to notice that a few of them have some Ninja Turtles in them, some old Ninja Turtles, like the ones that I had when I was a kid. And so I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's some nice Ninja Turtles in there. So I start looking at the Ninja Turtles, and I'm like, well, I got a lot of Turtles figures, but hey, there's a couple in here that I don't have. So I start picking up the bags, and as I'm picking them up, I'm starting to realize that these bags have an amazing mixture of stuff in them. It's not just Ninja Turtles. It's all kinds of vintage toys. And then I start realizing, as I'm looking at the pegs, that there is just bag after bag after bag after bag full of these vintage toys. Most likely, these all came from the same person. I would assume that this was all one big donation that was brought in, maybe from a mom cleaning out an attic or a basement, maybe just somebody who was getting rid of their old toys. Needless to say, there were bags full of 80s toys, and I bought them all. Look at my pile of bags. This is ridiculous. So these bags were priced anywhere between $3 and $5 a bag, and they are chock full of action figures. And a lot of the stuff I do have, it's a big mixture of stuff that I do have, but there's a lot of things in here that I didn't have. And there was a lot of things in here that even if I did have some, they were just too good to pass up at that price. I told Christina that I saved all these toys. I was a toy rescuer that day. I saved all these toys. Maybe Scalpor was out there hunting for these and was going to sell them one day. No, I saved them. I saved all these toys. So they're in the hands of a toy collector now. But I wanted to show you this stuff because I couldn't believe it. This stuff is just scattered all over the table right here. So I took pictures of it that I can put up so I can show you guys. I'm just going to kind of go through piece by piece some of the things that I found in these bags. I couldn't believe it. And keep in mind, these bags were all just mixed together. So they were jumbled full of stuff. So it wasn't like a whole bag of Turtles and a whole bag of Thundercats or anything like that. Like, they were just mixed up. Which is part of the reason I had to just pick up every bag just to see what I would get. Because there's a lot of things that I did need that I wanted to add to my collection, but in order to get it, I had to get a bag full of stuff I already had. But for $3, so what? You know what I mean? Who cares? So I talked about Ninja Turtles. So first of all, here's my Ninja Turtles haul. And you can see that none of these guys have their accessories or anything. And they're all pretty much, if they had like cloth pieces or belts or anything, they're all naked. But there's still a really good assortment of figures in here. And as you can see, they're all in pretty good shape. Now, all these toys are dirty as heck. A lot of them are sticky because they're old. They're grimy. I really need to wipe all these down. But I got some really good stuff. Like, I got the light-skinned Toka in here. He was kind of like a variant from that line. I got the pro wrestler Michelangelo, which is awesome. Muckman is one of my favorite figures. One of the figures I was really happy to find in here is Worm. He's actually one of the figures I didn't have. Very, very cool looking character. Really like this guy. And the name escapes me right now, but the mole. Oh my gosh, what's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. Either way, I didn't have him either. So I'm really happy that I got at least these two out of there. There's a lot of great figures in here, though. A lot of the sports turtles, which I didn't have any of those either. So, you know, I got the basketball Donnie. We got the soccer playing Raph. A lot of fun guys there. So, I'm definitely going to clean all these up and put some of the ones in my collection that I need to have in there. Among all this stuff, there was a bunch of random things, too. So let me show you some of the random stuff that I pulled out that there was only like a couple figures of. There was some things like some random McDonald's toys and bags. One of them's kind of cool because it's like the little McDonald's hamburger and fries and shake. But, you know, just some random little guys like that. I got a little stuffed Mike Wazowski, a little McDonald's Doc Ock. It's probably a McDonald's Hulk, some random Spider-Man. A lot of random stuff like that. I love the Robbie from Dinosaurs is in here. It's kind of cool. There's like Batman, just the Kenner Batman variant. Then there's this little Transformer guy. I'm not sure exactly what he is, but he looks so familiar. I don't think he's a GoBot. He doesn't have any markings on him whatsoever. But he's actually a really cool little Transformer or transforming robot toy. He turns into a little plane. I feel like I had this as a kid. It's super familiar to me. You know, there's like a thumb wrestler in here. I love these old thumb wrestlers. This has definitely got to be one of those knockoff ones because it doesn't look like anybody in specific. So a lot of little random stuff like that. There's some Marvel superheroes Bendums, which are really cool, like Wolverine and Captain America and Hulk. These are pretty neat. I actually had some of these as a kid too, so I like those. Really, really cool stuff there. So, then we start getting into some really exciting stuff. First of all, here's some weirdness. These are definitely a little bit older. These are like 70s toys. But there are some of those old, like, Mego McDonald's figures that were in these bags. They're in really bad shape. I mean, they're missing the cheeseburger guy whose name I can't remember. It's not Mayor McCheese. It's the cop. What's his name? I can't remember. He's missing his outfit. His clothes are gone. And then the professor guy, his clothes are just all tattered and torn. But interesting still to see these Mego McDonald's figures from 1976. It says on the back. So those are kind of neat. And then this has got to be from the 70s too. This is maybe the 60s even. Horrifying. Look at this. It's the monkeys. But it's like a weird glove puppet thing where each of the monkeys' heads goes on your finger. Hey, hey, we're the monkeys. People say we monkey around. It's kind of creepy, actually. But that was just randomly in one of the bags, too. This is cool. Check this out. This one bag here had a Silverhawks figure, which I didn't have. And one of the best finds out of this whole lot for so cheap. This is one of the Rock Lords figures. That's one of the Jewel Lords. It's like they turn into a translucent red crystal instead of one of the rocks. These are actually some of the harder to find Rock Lords. Came out at the very end of that line. They're usually a little more expensive, and I got this in a bag that was $3. Man, what a great find right there. I couldn't believe that this guy was in here. So that is fantastic. Alright, so Thundercats. There was a bunch of Thundercats figures in here. And we got a lot of the guys, a lot of the basic team here. We got Panthro, we got Mummy Mumra, we've got the full Mumra. Again, keep in mind, just like the Turtles, none of these guys have their accessories. But they're a little dirty. They just need to be cleaned up. They're still in great shape. We got Tigra, we got Cheetara. But then we get some of the guys that I didn't even have in my collection yet, which I'm really, really happy about. We got Voltac here. I think that was his name, Voltac. Was the Vulture? Vulture Man. And then, like, I didn't have this guy at all. I can't remember his name, but I definitely didn't have either of these dudes right here. So, really, really excited that I picked these up. And, man, I should have did a little bit of research, right? I should have picked up some of the names. I don't know all the names. Another really exciting two lots of figures that I found. First of all, I got a ton of the Marvel Secret Wars figures, which is awesome because I didn't really have a lot of these either. And again, these no accessories. The paint is wearing off on a lot of these guys, but they could be cleaned up easy. But I got like, there's a couple Spider-Mans, Wolverine, Hobgoblin, Doc Ock, Iron Man, Doctor Doom, Daredevil, Magneto, Captain America, Kang. There's even one of the later Toy Biz Punishers that's kind of with it. That's a great assortment of figures. I really like the Marvel Secret Wars stuff. And even cooler than that, I got a whole bunch of the DC Superpowers figures. I don't really have any of these toys, so I was really happy to get some of these. Now again, you could tell these were played with, which is, you know, fine. It came from a kid's collection. So the paint is worn on all of these guys. None of them have their accessories or capes or anything like that, but you don't run into Superpowers figures like this just randomly. So I was really, really happy because there's a great assortment of guys in here. Look, Clark Kent. Clark Kent is in. That was a mail away, right? The Clark Kent figure's in there. Man, dude, Shazam is in there. Captain Marvel, Cyclotron is in there. Martian Manhunter, Plastic Man, Steppenwolf, Green Arrow, Firestorm. So many cool figures there that are in this assortment, and I didn't have any of these before. So I am absolutely stoked to be adding these to my collection. And finally, I found some Masters of the Universe figures. Now, I have pretty much all the vintage Masters toys, but I'm always excited to find some of the stuff out in the wild, especially because there's some really good figures that I found here. There's a naked Triclops, there's an Orko, but the Orko's got his hat, that's really nice. Tongue Lasher, Ninjor's missing his outfit. Queen Angela from She-Ra, she's missing her wings. But there's a Snout Spout. You know, Gwildor's a good figure to find. He doesn't have his Cosmic Key. Look at this, I found a Mosquitor, and he's in terrific shape. He's got great working blood, and probably the gem out of everything that I found a Scareglow with his cape. A Scareglow with his cape. If you're a Masters of the Universe collector, you know how hard it is to get a Scareglow with his cape. I have never found one of these in the wild before, and I just picked this guy up out of a bag of toys that was $5. I couldn't believe it. I was screaming with joy. First of all, I have been looking for years for a cape for my Scareglow figure. And just recently, within this last year, I was sprung for one and bought one. I paid like $30 or $40 for the figure just because I wanted the cape. So, go figure, a mere half a year later, I would stumble across one in the wild that I would get for $5. But that's amazing. That's still fantastic. I can't believe that I got it. It's such a great find and definitely my favorite thing. This and the Jewel Lord are the two best finds in this whole lot, in my opinion. But there are some amazing stuff here. So, I am so excited. I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you don't feel like I'm bragging too much. I always feel weird doing these haul videos, but some of you guys seem to like it, so I wanted to share it with you guys. What am I planning to do with a lot of this stuff? I mentioned that I have a lot of these toys, and I do. There's some of the stuff that I have. There's a lot that I don't have, so I'm really excited about that. But I think with like some of the doubles of the Masters, you know, and the Ninja Turtles, my plan is to kind of clean them up, put them in a box, and when my baby boy Spencer is ready to start playing with some toys and he wants to play with some He-Man and Turtles, if he wants to, maybe he won't be interested in this stuff like his daddy, but if he does, I've got a collection for him to play with now. And that's actually, I was really excited, because as I'm going through this, that's the one thing I was just so excited. I was just like, I can play these with Spencer. I can play with this stuff with Spencer. You know, I'm totally cool. I've always said that I would share my toys with him anyway, but it'll be cool for him to have some of his own stuff. So, boom. I rescued these toys. I rescued these toys. So, that just goes to show, guys, you never know what you're going to find. Like I said, I've never been one that has had a lot of luck at a thrift store before. I find a lot of things at like places like Kane County and dedicated toy shows, but I don't, you know, I save up money and I spend a lot of money at those shows. I was really lucky this time. I randomly stumbled across the stuff at a thrift store. It was dirt cheap, and I scored this massive vintage collection. So, keep hunting, guys. This stuff is out there. It's out there waiting to be found. Do some searching, and it gets hard sometimes, but you never know when you're going to stumble across cool stuff like this. So, there you go. There's a new haul video for you guys. Keep on hunting, guys. And until next time.